guys ready?
Got your cameras rolling? Yep. All right, go ahead with questions for Coach.
First day in full pads, and we got some live work today, which is always good. I didn't love the attitude of the team. I told them that afterwards. I think we're a weekend now, and it's probably the residual of just what camp feels like a weekend, but wanted to see more juice, wanted to see more energy in the live periods. I thought we went through the motions a little bit. It doesn't mean that we didn't get good work, because at the end of the day, we got meaningful reps. Just we can't afford to take the field the way we took it today and expect to do the things we set out to do. So that was the message to the team afterwards, and we'll take advantage of the day off tomorrow and get back out on Thursday and go to work.
We get status updates on long list here. Martell Height, Miles Capers, Bryson Coleman, Chase Mitchell, and Trent Hudson.
Martell is going through concussion protocol. I'm actually not aware exactly where that stands right now, but it was just kind of an incident yesterday in practice where he ended up hitting his head on the ground, and we're just going to be super cautious with that. He's fine otherwise, but we need to make sure we take our time. That was kind of ongoing this morning, so I'm not aware of where that is. Give me the next one.
That's
Still one at a time. Capers. Capers dealt with a little shoulder issue yesterday right at the end of practice. He's going to be fine. But again, he's a guy who's banked a lot of reps here, and we want to be cautious with that. That's just a matter of some soreness calming down, and he'll be back at it.
And Bryson Coleman.
Bryson is got an ankle sprain, so he's just working recovery on that. That's not a long-term deal. My expectation is that certainly he'll be back for the first game, but hopefully he's feeling better. Hopefully we get a chance to get him back before then.
And Chase Mitchell and Trent Hudson.
Trent is soft tissue, so again, I think he's feeling better, but we're going to take our time with that. We want to make sure we don't compromise that with something that lingers through the season. I believe it's growing, so he's going to take his time, but he'll be back. He's going to be okay. Chase has a little AC sprain that, again, he's able to do some of practice, but not all of practice. We want to just manage that right now. So none of them long-term, all of them a little different in terms of the return to play. All of them I expect available for the first game, and certainly to be back practicing with us. Yeah.
What did you learn about the team from the first day?
Just that we can't take anything for granted. I think we every team at this point in camp is going to start kind of facing those walls mentally. I think we have physically what we need, but if we don't have the right attitude coming out here, we're not good enough to play that way. So it's everyone, coming together, looking at each other in the eye and saying, hey, when we put the ball down, especially in our stadium, and it's live, man, that's important to us. This is a place that we want to play really well in a few weeks. We don't need to wait to do that. So love our team. I know exactly where we are. I'm excited to see that challenge them afterwards. I'm excited to see them bounce back and respond, and I'm sure they will.
I've got one more follow-up. So you talked about the focus issues and kind of what's going on maybe with the three-snap stuff in the offensive line. For those that had issues there.
Yeah, that's right. So that's the attitude stuff where if you're stepping onto the field and you're half in, half out, and your mind's somewhere else. We worked the red zone today. We worked coming out for the offense, which is a stressful situation. We worked the three-way zone for us, which is ball right across the 50. I mean, those are some situations where performance requires focus. We have to have awareness. We can't go backwards in those situations. I mean, the three-way zone is all about getting to the goal line. If you're jumping off sides and you're false starting, all of a sudden you're backing up and not giving yourself a chance to actually execute in that area to win. So same when you're in the red zone. You can't go backwards. So that's the attitude stuff that I was seeing. I felt like defensively, we played forward a little more. There was one really nice drive in the live sequence at the end where I felt like our offense established some identity. But we're a better team than that. Again, but you're only as good as the focus you had today. Today we lacked what we needed to win at the highest level, and that's the challenge moving forward.
How much of the offensive line issues with three-snap things and stuff have been that kind of focus? How much has just been, okay, it's week 2 of camp, it's a lot of offensive line now, we play a lot together. It's install, it's
it's a blend, but you know, I don't want to let them off the hook. You know, my focus is going to be on their focus. Right? That is what we control. I do think we have a lot in on both sides. I think defensively, we started camp with everything. That's just kind of how college football's become. You never really leave it. So they're seeing multiple fronts, multiple pressures, pre-snap stems, and that certainly slows down processing, but it should not impact knowing the tools. That to me is inexcusable. So you know, we'll work through some of those learning moments and those mistakes that are being made where, you know, maybe we lose leverage or we don't take the proper angle. That's coaching, that's teaching, that's developing. What we can't do is we're going on two and we jump on one. You know, that's never going to work. And that is totally within our control, and I don't think we were getting it that way today.
So you know where your team is 25 days from the first game. Are they where you expect them to be?
You know, in some ways, we may be a little ahead of where I expected from an installation standpoint, and just the way practice has looked to this point. There haven't been a ton of just blown assignments. It seems like there's been pretty good execution on both sides of the ball. Today, I saw a team that's dealing with being a week into camp and not. We just didn't have the juice, you know. I think as a coach, there's a lot I can do to impact the tactics of the team and the technical aspects of development. But the message the team needs to hear is that their energy, their focus, that's on them. That's about what they want to accomplish in the present moment, bringing what they need to bring, defining who they are as a player, day in, day out. So this is a normal part of camp. You know, again, every year you kind of reach these points. I know I have a prideful team. I know I have a team that's invested a lot in this. Again, I challenge them after practice. I know that they'll respond, and so I'm excited for that response.
What
Is
if
this the time of the year where there's still the depth chart not set, and you still have guys who are pretty good at between the two. But you've seen guys who continue to battle and not just being satisfied.
I am, yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of that going on. We'll get through this first scrimmage and really have as a staff kind of sit down and shape our second week of work. You know, towards the second scrimmage to really isolate some of those position battles, the starting job, where the twos and threes are sorting out, what rotations look like, and just as we get closer to the game, you know, those things will start to define them. But yeah, these guys are all fighting for reps. I think the other thing too is when you have the injuries that we're sustaining, these little nicks and bruises that are going to hold some people out of practice, there's opportunity in that for other guys. And so how they take advantage, how they maximize those opportunities, that'll be really important with respect to setting that depth chart and really getting the best of it.
How big of an impact can Trey Richardson have this year?
Well, I mean, at this point, we could. I think the sky's the limit on that. You know, I mean, he's made plays in practice. He's outrun angles. His speed shows up. He's got a good catch radius and I think a natural catching ability. There's a lot to like about that. I think within our offense too, he has an element that maybe we haven't had on some of the sweeps and things like that. So, really excited about Trey. Obviously, he's got to keep coming on, but he's done a great job at this point. You know, we'll keep defining what that role looks like, but he definitely would be an explosive playmaker.
How big of a transition is it for someone like him going from Division II, where he was a two-sport athlete, to FBS, SEC football?
Well, I mean, I think it's a big adjustment. One of the things that we pride ourselves here on is having support for our players, having resources for our players, and so in some ways, I think he probably feels that support, feels those resources. In other ways, he's had to adapt to the way we train, the way we practice, and I've been really impressed with Trey. The way he's handled himself, his availability, his attitude. He's been a great addition. So all good to this point. Obviously, the season introduces a whole nother level, right? And it's a grinder, but nothing to this point shows me he's not totally ready for that. He's going to be available all this week.
Do you guys have research on like that's going to affect the wind, right? That building there, I assume down here too. Do you know what the wind conditions are going to be like in games?
I don't. I mean, we'll be in here a bunch at varying times from now till we play. So I mean, we're gonna. This is our second time in the stadium. I know for sure we're back. Obviously Saturday, we'll scrimmage at night, we'll scrimmage in the morning, and then we'll kind of spend. I think I got 3 or 4 consecutive days scheduled in here. So by the time we come out of it, some of that's also to work at night and get under the light, kind of get the sight lines together. We want to get the other board on and just kind of get a feel for how it sounds and looks. But let me come back to you on that once we get the. I hope that it's not that big of a difference, or if it is, I hope somehow we've set it up so that it only helps us. Maybe that would be the next step.
Richardson, the speed is a dimension you didn't have this in here. Does that expand the playbook a little bit?
Yeah, I think the plays are in the book. You know, I mean, I think it gives us a chance to be a little more dynamic. And I mean, today, you know, you start handing those jet sweeps off, and you got someone circling the defense. It's just, I don't know if I think it was yesterday. I mean, maybe it all runs together at this point of the year, but could have been on Sunday. I think it was Dante Carter had an angle on Trey. I mean, we didn't do a great job of when the ball can run away from you. You know, you got 2 fast guys running. I mean, the guy that has the head start will win, but typically, you know, Dante at the right angle was down on the ball, and you know, he was just able to get outside and serve Wilson. Again, that it all sets up hopefully what becomes also explosive pass plays. But he's a weapon that we haven't had. And, I mean, he has stood out here in the summer and then early in camp, for sure.
With the attention Eli Stowers is getting, I would guess there's going to be more defensive attention on him as well. How do you guys kind of approach that and navigate that?
Well, part of it, I mean, you can't. There's only so much you can do if they're going to put 2 guys on them. You know, there's ways to try to hide them in formation with motions. But what you hope is kind of to Chris's point, you hope that you're developing skill around him to where the choice to double Eli puts you in a situation where there's someone else that's got one-on-one coverage to come in. And we have those guys. I mean, whether that's Junior, Martell, Trey, on and on, Trent, I mean, these guys can, Richie, and so that's, you know, we have to work to get Eli singled off. We can do that with motion, formation, but we can also do that when the other guys are in rhythm and with chemistry with Diego. Because at some point, if you're going to put 2 on 1, then there's somebody with a 1-on-1. You got to make that choice. If we're dangerous enough around Eli, that's a more challenging choice to make.
How have you seen the progress of the run game so far?
You know, I don't know that it's where we want it to be. I think again, when I get frustrated with our attitude today, some of that is staying positive. Obviously, we want to be positive in our demeanor, but I'm talking about positive yards. 1st and 10, 2nd and 6, 1st and 10, 2nd and 5. And today was 1st and 10, 2nd and 8, 1st and 10, 2nd and 9. Like, those aren't winning situations for offense. That is about us moving people against their will. So, you know, we haven't been synced up all the way yet. I mean, we've had flashes and moments. I think that group's really got to come together. We have added people that I think enhance our physical profile, but it's about chemistry. It's about being on the same page. So those things take time. I don't think we're where we want to be run game wise yet. I think defensively we're a little further ahead of where we've been, but I expect the battle in the trenches for us to be really competitive here moving forward.
What can you tell us about Jordan White's personality? I know he just started a foundation.
Yeah, big heart, a guy that in recruiting connected with his story, his passion, his family. You know, I think really, really special person. he's a guy that's easy to. I mean, he just goes about his work. Doesn't say a lot. He's a great teammate. But he will be the guy that starts every play for us on offense. So special person, and it's no surprise that he's doing big things out there, and he'll continue to do big things and use his platform for good. But we're happy to have him, and I'm grateful for him, and I've enjoyed just what he's brought to this team beyond his play on the field, but his personality and his heart.
How significant is it to get Marlon Sewell back?
Yeah, I mean, Marlon's had a really nice camp. He's kind of stepping into his own with respect to finishing plays. That's kind of been where he's needed to improve, and downing the ball in big space. I just see him growing into comfort there. He's working really hard. But that safety room, I mean, that's a competitive environment now. I mean, I got Marlon, CJ Hurd, who's played well. Dante Carter, I think, has had a really, really nice camp. I've been very impressed with how the game's slowed down, and that allows for his physical tools to show up. Carson Lawrence can play, and I think we got to always be conscious of the fact that he's still a true freshman, still has a ways to go, but I mean, he does things on the field that separate him as a freshman. So I'm excited to see him continue to develop. I wouldn't place limitations on what he's able to do. Van Hinton's another young guy that has been really impressive. We've played him a little more back. Both of those guys, Carson and Van, are getting opportunities to play behind Randon too, as a true hybrid overhang. Both have shown skills doing that as well. So I mean, that room is exciting to me. We have to replace a ton of snaps there, but and so you always, I mean, there's a lot of experience gone, but I get excited looking at the talent in that room, and especially with how focused those guys are. It's been cool to see them work.
And y'all were part of the Netflix documentary on SEC football that's coming out today. What was it like to be part of that documentary and to showcase it?
My number one objective was to be myself and have our program be represented exactly as we are. So I think, how was it? It was as though they weren't there. Now, at the end of the day, we've watched the episodes we're featured in as a team. That was important for us to do because Netflix is going to tell a story, and that story is an important one. And I'm so grateful for their interest in our program and in our conference, and I think this is such a fun product for fans to take in. I think it's a really cool. As a football fan, if I wasn't busy this time of year, I would have probably already watched it all. But there's no way they can tell our story authentically, because at the end of the day, you have to be here every day to do that. You have to be in all the meeting rooms. You have to understand all the relationships and connections. So, as with any show, there are going to be elements of our program that are featured, and there are going to be elements of our program that are hidden. And what I want our team to focus on is it's the strength of the whole, right? It's the individual sacrificing to be a part of something bigger than himself that makes us unique. And so we can't let any kind of attention distract us from that team mission. I'm grateful for the exposure. I'm grateful for the Vanderbilt story to be told. Doesn't mean that I always watch it and say, hey, they're telling it exactly how I wanted it told. Obviously, that's not the point. But we have to be really mature how we handle that attention. And again, my job as head coach is when those cameras are here, I don't change how we operate. I don't change who I am. I don't change how I relate to the players. And so at the end of the day, what is seen is reality. That to me gives them the message that we're going to be who we are. We're not going to put on a show. And that's how we help tell the story best we can.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.